Hello. Hello. Welcome to part 36 of A Weedwife's Remedy. We are almost done with this book. Oh my gosh, where are we? We are on, I think we have 2 chapters left, literally. Three tiny chapters left, so that is good. We're on page 168, the Bog Witch, Redroot Dressed in Crimson and Winter's Green. So I have not read this chapter yet, any of it. So this will be all new for me. Let's see. I'm just going to I'm just going to do a quick post. See if, and I'll hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Bear with me. Hopefully we don't have any like weird feedback. All right. Okay. Okay. Hello out there. Hello if you joined us. This is episode 36. Yes. Okay. So I'm back. This is probably going to be a short one. I'm going to be getting my first COVID test after this. So we'll see. And we've been looking for a house and we found one. So all of this in the background will be in order at some point. And I will have bookcases and spaces to put like my tarot decks and books and all kinds of stuff. And I mean, hopefully it'll be really nice. So, but it's also going to be disruptive for a while when we're moving and everything else. And so, yeah. All right. And that's also why, like, I haven't read this chapter yet. I'm trying to get where I can see my light a little bit. It's kind of like a cloudy day, so there's less light. Ooh, it's like, you can see the light here. So this is about Redroot. And some of the common names are redroot, redshank, bush, mountain lilac, desert buckthorn, New Jersey tea. That's really interesting. And then the energetics are neutral and warm. Taste is sweet and aromatic. And in some species is astringent. So its primary actions are for lymphatic. It's a lymphatic alternative, astringent, expectorant, relaxing, nervine, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and antispasmodic. So why you might use it: fibristic breast disease, mastitis, lymphadenitis, tonsillitis, mononucleosis, hepatitis, bronchitis, asthma, and sinitis. So when you have itis after a word, it just means inflammation. So it's like inflammation of the tonsils, inflammation of the lymphatic system. Mastitis is like breast inflammation, all kinds of stuff. So part used is the red to pink roots. So it's called red root for a reason, because literally, like when you cut into the root, it's bright red. It kind of looks like blood. I don't have too much experience with it other than that, and its little white flowers. I believe in it blooms in early spring. I believe it's also a forest botanical, so it lives in the forest, and I believe it's a really strong herb. You don't need to use a lot of it. So redroot is one of our greatest unsung plant medicines, says Michael Moore. He's an herbalist. Redroot is a remarkable remedy with its spicy scented and crimson colored roots that tangle deep into rocky ground. More easily seen, its showy and fragrant flowers range in color from bright white to cream to pinks and purples, have given the plant many of its common names that are variations on mountain lilac and desert lilac. Oh, okay. So I've never seen like the purple or the pink around here. I usually where I am it's the white. So since I don't have anyone joining me today, it's going to be a real short book club, but I am not going to stop. So I'm going to keep going as long as I can. I'm just really sad that like no one shows up for book club anymore except for Miss Heather. And then we had oh my gosh, I'm blanking on your name, but you showed up last time, and thank you. I really appreciate that. And so if anyone's watching this, I just want to say that I'm just really sad because we've had some really great book clubs, and it feels like it's just sort of dead. And I don't want it to die. I had to switch to every other week. It was a work thing, you know, and if you can't survive every other week, then I just don't know. And I don't get any feedback at all if anyone's ever interested in going on with this or anything. So I'm hurt and I'm mad and I'm not afraid to say it, and probably no one's listening anyway. So that's how I feel. Y'all could at least say something. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to continue on. And I don't even know if we should even pick another book because it seems like no one is interested. So that's just it. I'm done. I'm done ranting for a second. And this is a great book, okay? While I sometimes use the C. Americanus, most likely to be found in Commerce, I usually choose to work with our local C. Oh gosh, Greggii. It's Greggii, which is plentiful in the Arroyos and rocky mountainsides of my home in southwest New Mexico. The species has small and soft, pubescent, opposite leaves and blooms in early spring, covering the foothills and middle elevation mountains of the Gaia, with their sweet-smelling white sprays of abundant tiny white blossoms. So I found out that this author grew up in Waynesville, which is right really close to me. It's about 30-40 minutes away, and in fact I will be moving to about 15 minutes away from it. So that's really cool, and it's just a really small world. If you want to, we did a Stories for the Earth book chat about this book. So if anyone's interested, I will try to remember to leave the link in the description, where we just chat about the whole book and everything else. So anyway. Okay, so I'm on page 169. Probably just go like 15 more minutes and, you know, leave it at that. I'm just frustrated. I like, you know, especially with my channel, and I don't know. I just feel like I put up videos, I lose subscribers, and it's just real hard. I mean, I work really hard to try to get up content. I don't know. All I want to do is get to 1,000 subs so that I can use my cell phone and record live, and also to bring more content, right? Like, it's just, I don't know. So, and they're like, oh, don't worry about the subscribers, it doesn't matter. But I do. I matter. I care. I want, you know, I want to have a channel where people participate and are excited about my content, and not like, hey, I don't care about you. You know, like it's not about the subscribers, but it is about the subscribers. It's just, I don't know. And it hurts every time I lose one. I can't say it doesn't, because it does. I work really hard. It just doesn't feel like it goes anywhere. You know, where people like throw up their channels and they have 1,000 subscribers overnight, and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna quit my channel. It's not worth it. I'm just like, then I have this big community and everything, and they're just like, bye. I'm just like here struggling along. Yeah, this is a rant. It's been a week, guys. I'm, you know, between the house and my job and everything else, I'm just, all right. The Bog Witch, specific indications and patterns. I cannot pronounce the Latin name of this herb, and I apologize. I'm just going to use the common name instead. I think of Redroot personified as a bog witch, and her magic is very much about, apparently, moving moisture while transforming blood and unclogging stuck lymph. She brings clarity and strength where there is swampy issues and weakened fluid functions. I kind of feel like that. There's some swampy issues and weak fluid functions going on. Look for a pale tongue, subjective feelings of fatigue, heaviness, and coldness in conjunction with the tendency to catch every cold or flu that comes around, with the slow recovery time and that feeling that they're always about to get sick. Often digestion will be sluggish, and the person will have some level of bad skin manifesting as acne outbreaks, or even just a flat, vaguely yellow complexion. So these are like indications on why you would use Redroot. Other symptoms include ongoing dull, achy headaches, especially after eating a fatty meal, hemorrhoids, and varicose veins. It's not uncommon to see variation of this pattern in people with chronic viral hepatitis, or those recovering from acute hepatitis, Lyme disease, particularly with Bartonella co-infections, lupus, and other autoimmune conditions, as well as mononucleosis, pitting edema, especially from hepatitis, is another clear indication. What would it be a book club when I can't pronounce all these words she's thrown at me? While the above pattern is present, Redroot can be effective in reducing inflammation and clearing boggy tissues in a number of situations, from old bronchitis to droopy sinusitis to hepatitis, with partial congestion and all sorts of naggy pelvic pain with sensations of heaviness, dragging, and swelling. Redroot is a supporting tonic herb and generally works in a slow, supportive manner when used appropriately. What is important here, as with most other herbs, the overall tissue state rather than the disease name given specific organ system. Looking at the constitution and tissue state and working from there will inevitably result in better results and easier match between person and plant. So she's talking about like Western medicine is really concerned with like the disease, what you have, and then they go from there. But like herbalism sort of looks at everything else, everything surrounding. They work from like a different perspective. So, and I would say that, you know, it's good to get a diagnosis because then you can go to any herbalist or acupuncturist and say, hey, this is what I have, and they can work with that. But if you don't have a diagnosis, that's also okay, but it's just, I think it's, right, so herbalism is not concerned with what exactly you have, but what are your symptoms, what, like she said, the tissue state. Because that's its strong point and not necessarily diagnosing. But I think since we have like the ability to diagnose, you can use both if you have an illness. So you get your diagnosis, you have your tests, you have, you know, they can look inside and see what's going on. Then you can go to your herbalist and say, hey, this is what's going on. So I think that's cool. And that's the theory that she is talking about. So anyway. Her thorny wand, astringency, and blood flow. Page 170. So has anyone ever taken Redroot for anything? I haven't. This, like I said, my experience was very limited with this plant. So Redroot is also an effective astringent, and many of its most well-known traditional uses are directly related to this action, including reducing blood flow in cases of uterine hemorrhage and nosebleeds. I've also seen Redroot be very useful with the bleeding, pain, tenderness, and swelling of ovarian cysts, and its mild antispasmodic action can be useful here as well. It does not necessarily address the underlying issues, but can serve as a constitutional tonic as well as helping to lessen uncomfortable symptoms while foundational causes are being addressed. So it just helps with the symptoms, which is important. Combined with yarrow, if a constitutional blood tonic is needed, or the body needs to be reminded of how to heal the vascular system, berry syrups with yarrow, leaves, and redroot, then cooked down with molasses, make for excellent overall blood supplementing tonics that can assist in the overall repair of the vascular system. It also sounds yummy. You're talking about like molasses. And I guess it helps because I think that yarrow and redroot is kind of astringent, which is what she said, and kind of probably not the best tasting, you know. So all right, so I'm just gonna go to 130 and stop. Running the blood, a a lymphatic and hepatic tonic. Now, hepatic is liver, means liver. And again, I'm substituting. She's using a Latin name, which I cannot pronounce, so I'm just substituting the common name here, and please forgive me, or a common name for so. My local red roots have spicy wintergreen scents to them and are usually scented, usually scarlet to crimson in color, and even the inner pith is likely to be pink to red. In conversations with other herbalists, especially those who wildcraft in wide range of bioregions, I have heard that not all redroot species are notably aromatic, but this kind of redroot that she uses seems to be what they all seem to work similarly regardless of scent. It is my observation that many aromatic species of redroot seems to have somewhat stronger relaxant, nervine, antispasmodic, and lymphatic properties. That's cool. This common and widespread plant is perhaps best known as a powerful lymphatic in American herbal medicine. Michael Moore speaks specifically to redroot's impact on the blood and lymph. And she has a quote by Michael Moore. I'll probably read it and end on that. Or we can go through the whole chapter. It's not a very long chapter. I just hate going through a whole chapter without anybody here but me. I just really hate it. It's not what this book club is about. So I'm not taking any of these ranting down. I'm not. I don't care. Here's the quote. As a tonic, you need to understand that red root, particularly the tincture, helps to diminish the tendency for red blood cells to clump together in blood that is either high in fat, cychrominones after a heavy meal, as an example, or with elevated inflammatory compounds from allergic responses, a condition called I just cannot pronounce any of these words today. ROULEAU. Another way to describe it is having sticky or viscous blood with alternating constituents and diminished surface tension or change. Redroot kicks up the charge, helps red blood cells and inner vessel linings repel each other better. The blood, while not changing chemistry, changes its osmotically and flows better. This aids the transport across capillary walls of diverse substances and the non-protein functions of blood that becomes interstitial fluid and lymph. Oh my gosh, what a freaking quote that was. Okay, that was a little scientific. I prefer redroot in formula when addressing lymphatic stagnation or symptoms of hypoimmunity, and find that it is less likely to cause feelings of toxicity with hangover-like symptoms and possible hepatic pain from rapid stimulation of lymphatic circulation when combined with other herbs specific to this situation. So it's very strong, so it's best to combine it. Note that redroot differs from many of our most frequent allowed alternatives in being neutral to warming in thermal energies and sweet in taste, in contrast with the more common cold, bitter herbs such as dandelion, cleavers, and Oregon grapefruit. Well, that's interesting. So yeah, cleavers and I guess dandelion, Oregon grape all move blood, all move lymph, and it's kind of cool that This one is a sweet one because these are cold. Yeah. And for me, like, cold stuff isn't good. Like cold herbs, cold food. So like if I needed some kind of lymph moving, then I could use this Redroot. But it does sound like, again, you need to use this very sparingly, and we'll get to how to use it. Yeah. So this difference can be used to great advantage when matched with people with cold chronic conditions and lax tissues where an alternative is needed. So that's cool. That's real good. Heather! Hey, I'm sorry I'm late. The lawnmower man surprised me. The lawn needs mowed. How are you? I am stressed, tired, nervous. I'm getting my COVID shot in an hour, my first one. I like to keep an eye on him. He's out there alone. This sounds good. Keep an eye on that guy. Yeah. Did I tell you we found a house? Did I tell you we found a house? Anyway, I am exhausted. So how are you doing? You missed the rant. I was ranting earlier. You could just watch the playback of this. Oh my gosh, of how our little book club is just like dying or dead. It's just you and me, and sometimes starry-eyed mystery. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. Oh yeah, my COVID shot went well. My arm was sore for a few days, but it was fine. That's good. That's good, Heather. I'm getting mine today. Yes, a house. Yes. Yes, we were looking for one. So we found one, and we're in that process. And so and then also yard. Well, it's a weird. So it has like a front lawn, which is kind of like a little bit of a hill. It's just grass. And then it's got a tiny back area. Is it in Tennessee? No, it's in Clyde. So is it headed that way? It's headed that way, I think. We're going to be about 30 minutes outside of Asheville. So and I think it's up. I don't even know what direction it is. I think it's like put in a retaining wall in front that would give you some growing area. Yeah, I'll have to show you a picture. I think we can do like maybe we could always do some like raised beds or something. I don't really know what we're gonna do. And then the back butts up against a cow field, which is really nice. So there's like a tiny area in the back. There's a big oak tree. And so I'm not sure what exactly we're gonna do, because it's just it's up above. It's on this little hill, and then down the hill across from us is a person's house, and then down the hill more are like apartments. Okay, message me the address on Facebook, so look it up. Yes. Okay. You can Google cows. I think if you Google cows, you'll get like the whole state. And yours too. It's just all cows. All cows and no gasoline. So, yeah, I'll send you on Facebook, I'll send you the pictures. I'll send you the video that I took of it. I'm just sort of like, because we're going to have an inspection. We haven't had that yet. And so, like, I'm just sort of been like, we have it, but maybe we don't quite 100% have it. And then everything. So, yeah. I kind of wish it had more medicinal plants already growing on the land, but you know, it's really hard to find a house. So we did the best we could. Being sensible and smart. We're trying. It was really hard. It's been really challenging. And part of the reason, like, I'm so tired and burnt out, and then work's doing us overtime, and then, you know, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, podcast. So, yeah, let's finish this Redroot chapter. And it's been heavy in the words I can't pronounce. I'm going to need to run out and move the car, so if I disappear, I'll be back. Okay. All right. Where am I at? 171 at the bottom. Redroot has a capacity to assist in the healing of cirrhosis and can be very useful whenever there is a bile blockage, liver stagnation, and overt inflammation. You have a lot, so you're doing, yeah, too much. Too much is too much. So hopefully I'll be able to. We don't have to look for a house anymore, so come on. And then, but we just have now the whole process of like moving, and then I'm hoping one day I'll have all of my weekends at work, and I can get back to, like, I don't know, sleeping, going outside, stuff like that. Living. I've used it clinically, even in the acute stages of cirrhosis and bile blockage, when there's edema and notable hypoimmunity is present, and seen remarkable improvements in overall hepatic health. Formulates very well with hydrangea root, when pitting edema is present. I've used Redroot as best suited to clearing up lingering afflictions that have gone chronic, particularly those affecting the immune and hepatic system, manifesting as swollen glands, slow healing wounds, and other hypoimmune indications, chronic hepatitis, mononucleosis, and bronchitis with cold signs. When used where there are signs of coldness and laxity in the tissues, accompanied by symptoms of chronic swelling, digestive malabsorption, long-term infections, lymphatic tenderness, or swelling, Redroot can be an excellent and well appreciable remedy. Oh my gosh. I think this is like the most like scientific-y words. So basically it's really good for your liver and severe like liver issues and immune and other things. Like, it's just very. So collecting. I usually collect the root in early spring, before flowering, or late in the year after the first frost. In the southwest, Redroot tends to grow in rocky, dry areas that are extremely difficult to dig roots from during the dry season. I recommend a rock bar and a lot of patience, or alternately walking along and washes looking for plants with roots already partially exposed due to erosion and likely to be taken out by a flood in the near future anyway. So here it's different because we do not, I don't think we have that issue. Because it's more likely to be wet here than dry. Saw or cut the trunk and upper plant off, then process the root immediately or in the very near future. Once they start to dry out, they're almost impossible to process without some sort of heavy machinery. When fresh, use strong, sharp loppers and pruners to chip and chop into smaller pieces. Be careful when grinding if you wish to percolate the dry roots, as it is very hard and rather famous for destroying normal grinders. So she mentions percolation. That is a way of making tinctures in like 24 hours instead of 6 weeks. So if you're interested in that, look that up. And Heather, I saw your comfrey and your nettles. No, super jelly. But also really excited that you're able to collect so many, and that's really awesome. So anyway, so this is how you use it: cold infusion, decoction, fresh plant tincture 1:2 ratio 95%, or dry plant tincture 1:5 50%. So the dosage, I find 2 small moderate doses of herb to be most effective and appropriate. Larger doses can emphasize the astringent quantities and create digestive problems. I also prefer this plant in formula rather than as a simple. For the most part, tincture dosage for an average adult is 15 to 30 drops. TID. For chronic conditions, Michael Moore recommends a much higher dose, measuring the tincture dosage by the teaspoon. So TID means it's a medical term. It means 3 times a day. The counterindications. So caution should be used when used alongside anticoagulants, otherwise used according to indications for cold, chronic conditions rather than hot, acute conditions. Redroot is a safe and well-tolerated herb that can be used over a long period of time. So maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe it's just real strong. So, yeah. All right, Heather, are you still there? Let's see if she's gone and checked on the lawnmower, man. Because I want to wrap up, but I want you to be back. All right, so while we're waiting for Miss Heather, okay, so the next time we're going to meet is on the 28th. And we will be doing deep roots in the cold moons, winters, wild roots, trees, and remedies. So this is about trees, like evergreen, juniper, fir, pine, all that stuff. And then we're on to the last chapter. So we really literally have like 2 chapters left. We're so close to being done, and then we're not going to have a book So if anyone watching has a book you want us to do next, let me know. Heather, are you there? All right. I don't want to quit. I don't have a book. So, yeah, I don't know. I look at my Amazon wish list, but I don't know what book we should do next. Yeah. I'll have to really be looking at it. Because I don't, we can't just, I don't know. I'll have to look at it. But if anyone has any suggestions. So, there's some books that work. Because we don't want to do like a book that's just like Materia Medica. Just like, here's the plant. This is what it does. You want, like, we need something that we can discuss some like other ideas sort of around herbalism and about herbalism and stuff like that. So, Miss Heather, are you back? We're almost done. So, you've just joined us. We were talking about Redroot and which started anyway. But I've finished the chapter, and I was just waiting for Miss Heather to come back before we said goodbye. But if anyone out there has any experience with Redroot and wants to talk about it, let me know. All right, Miss Heather. Well, I'm gonna go, but I'm glad you could join me for just a little bit. I got to chat. All right, guys. Well, we have a Facebook group. Links in the description if you want to join. Keep up with when we have book club. If you got a book, please let me know. If you hate book club, sick of book club, and would like me to not do book club anymore, let me know. If you love book club and are interested in participating in book club again, let me know. If there's a time that might work better for everybody, let me know. Like I said, I had to change the time. I had to change the format because of work, but I'm trying. I'm just not getting any feedback from anybody every time I ask. So it's really difficult for me to just guess at a time. I can do later now on Fridays because my husband's schedule changed. So, we could go back to 3 p.m. Maybe that's a better time for everybody. Maybe I'll do that. I mean, 1 seems pretty not so good. So, let me know. And we will be back on the 28th. And we were going to be talking about the woods, like pine, juniper, fir, and stuff like that. So that'd be cool. It's a short chapter, but get your tree stories ready. Maybe I can take up some sort of supplemental tree story reading. I'm not sure, but that would be cool. So I will see you guys next time. And maybe I'll change the time. Maybe I'll just change it to 3. Why not? I feel like when we had it at 3, it was doing better. But again, let me know. Maybe I'll post something up in the Facebook group. maybe not. So, you guys, I hope you have a good week. And, you know, I really do. We've had such a good time on this book club for such a long time, and I really hate to see it die and end. So I'm trying to keep it alive. Maybe one day I'll be able to go back to once a week. I would love that. I would love to be on YouTube all the time and not do my day job. But all right, guys. Well, I'll talk to you later, and bye.